Hey everyone, welcome back to the Library of Parthos. My name is Sarah and I'm in Tokyo! Alrighty, so we are back. We've been home for a couple of weeks. I didn't get as much time to kind of debrief every day while we were traveling as I had hoped. One of the things that I didn't realize is that Tokyo is like one of the largest cities in the world, if not the largest. So to get anywhere was a long process, either walking, taking the train, like whatever it was, it just took a while. So the only times that we were ever back in our hotel were to change because it was so hot or because it was time to go to bed. And so we really didn't hang out in our hotel all that much. So I didn't have a lot of time to film, but I took lots of videos and pictures from the trip that I will happily share. So we visited 3 cities on this trip. We started in Tokyo, then we took the bullet train to Osaka. From there we went to Kyoto and then back to Tokyo before our flight. We stayed in an area of Tokyo called Ginza, which is a really nice area. There's some like luxury shopping there, just like a really nice quiet place to stay. Our hotel was right next to a Lawson convenience store, which was great because we made quite a few stops there. The first full day that we were there, we did a guided tour through some parts of Tokyo. Really the biggest thing for us was getting to know how to use the train system. So our tour guide was really helpful in showing us like how to understand the different lines, which trains to get on to go where, which car number to get on, because they have this really amazing system that like if you are getting off on this specific stop, then it's best for you to get in this car number. So they have those like little posters everywhere. So she explained all of that to us. And then we walked to the fish market, just kind of browsed. We had eaten breakfast at our hotel, which is like a whole, so we weren't really hungry, but we did get some ideas of snacks that we could possibly come back for. After that, we walked to, or we didn't walk the whole way there. We went to the Meiji Shrine, which was a really interesting, a really like peaceful part of the city that was nice to explore. We got to see the big Torii gate. We also got to walk through some of the gardens and some of the ponds, and it was just really pretty there and really peaceful. And then the last stop on our guided tour was Akihabara, and that is like the big animation district. So if you are somebody who likes anime, manga, video games, like that is the place to be. So we ended our tour there, walked into one building, and it was like a 10-story store that sold like all kinds of anime stuff. So wrapping up there, we went back and changed because, as I said, the first couple of days were so hot. Like we were sweating so much. And it was a lot of walking as well. So went back and changed, and then we went to Disney Sea. Now, I learned on this trip, apparently I'm a Disney adult. I would not classify myself as a Disney adult, but I was told that I am, so I guess I am. They have a park called Disney Sea, which is a little more geared toward adults. So we decided to do an evening pass there. Wasn't the best move because all of the restaurants and food stands were closing when we were there. And we had gone, like, you go to Disney to eat, right? We had gone there to eat and we didn't get to eat. We got popcorn because they have lots of different flavored popcorns throughout the park. That was all we could get our hands on. We got to ride 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is a really cool, like if you've been to Universal Studios, it reminded me of the E.T. ride, but you're in an enclosed like submarine, like suspended, and you're just kind of riding through this underwater thing, but they have bubbles coming up through the window. It's really cool. So that was neat because I don't think that that is anywhere else that's specific to that park. But at that point, like we were really hungry, we couldn't find anywhere to eat, and so we were just like, let's get out of here and we'll come back next time and try to do it a little bit better. So if you are planning a trip and going to Disney Sea, if you're going just for the evening, I would say maybe don't expect to eat unless there was some special event that I didn't know about. And also maybe do a full day so that you can get the full experience in. We fell in love with Lawson. Lawson, Family Mart are konbini or convenience stores. And like we like almost always picked Lawson or Family Mart if we needed like a snack. The bao buns from Family Mart were next level. The chicken nuggets from Lawson were amazing. Like we were just all about it. Like don't get me wrong, we went to some great restaurants with really great food, but Lawson was like that comfort food that we needed, you know, like mid-afternoon snack or something like that. So I think Saturday was the day that we like fell in love with Lawson. And I had a meeting that I had to go to in the evening. So before I did that, I just grabbed some chicken and a drink from Lawson, and it was like the perfect dinner. Anyway, before that though, we did go to a traditional Japanese tea ceremony. It was very informative. The host did an amazing job of really explaining and showing like all of the thought and effort that goes into the tea ceremony. We got to grind our own matcha, and then she showed us how to make the tea, and then we got to try it on our own. So it was really cool to mix the matcha together and then learn about how you're supposed to take the bowl, because there's like a specific way that you take it, and then you rotate it 2 times so that the artwork is pointed outward, because that's what people want to see. Like it was very elaborate, so it was a really interesting experience. The next day, Sunday, we got on the bullet train and headed to Osaka. I was so excited about the bullet train. I've, you know, just been hearing about it forever. I know how fast it moves. Like we went from Tokyo to Osaka in 2.5 hours. It was amazing. Train stations are like mini malls, kind of. Like there's a lot of shopping and like food places in there, so we were able to just get like a little bento box for breakfast before we got on the train, and then headed to Osaka. In Osaka, I made basically the same mistake I made with Disney. We got a Universal Studios pass for the day, but I didn't realize that a lot of the attractions have time reservations only. So we went specifically to go to Super Mario World. Super Mario World was timed entry only, so you had to make those reservations ahead of time. And by the time we got there, the only reservation was at 8 p.m. It was like, I don't know, like maybe noon, earlier than that, maybe like 11, between 11 and noon when we got there. And so we would have had to stay in the park until 8 p.m., which was not really what we were planning. So we didn't get to see Super Mario World, which was kind of disappointing. We did get to ride the Spider-Man ride, which is one of my favorites, so it was really cool to see it in Japanese. We got to see the Jujutsu Kaisen ride, or I guess more experience is probably the better word, because it's the 4D theater type thing. Like it's very similar to like the Shrek ride, I feel like ride's the wrong word because you're not moving. But it was cool. That's like that one's specific to Japan. I think it's probably a limited time, so that was really neat to see. And then of course after we wrapped up in Universal Studios, we then headed to get some food in Osaka. There's just so much to eat. So we had the 10 yen pancake, which is just a pancake filled with cheese. So it's really gooey. It's kind of like a mozzarella stick, but with like a sweeter dough because it's like basically a pancake. We had some ice cream with green tea on it. This ice cream was in a sugar cookie cone, so it was delicious. We also got some takoyaki, which is like some fried octopus. They're like little balls of fried octopus with different sauces on them. That was really good. So just kind of ate our way through Osaka, which was awesome. And the next morning then we hopped on the bullet train again to go to Kyoto. Kyoto was much, I hate to say quieter because like everywhere we visited was quiet. Like the cities were not noisy at all. They were very quiet. But Kyoto was even quieter still, much more like traditional. So in Kyoto, we visited the bamboo forest, which was amazing. Like it was so tall, so pretty. And then we decided to go see the monkeys at the monkey sanctuary, or Monkey Mountain. I don't know if that's actually how the name translates, but that's what we so lovingly called it. When we went through, like when we went up to give our donation to enter the like park or whatever, they told us that it was a 20-minute walk to see the monkeys, and we were like, cool, no big deal, like we've literally been walking this entire trip, it's fine. So we climb this like giant staircase and think like, okay, we're almost there. This is definitely close to the top. And then they show you a map of how far you've come, and you're like here, and the top of Monkey Mountain is like here. And then they have like all these little encouragements along the way, like keep it up, you're doing great, almost to the top. Like it was, when I say a hike, it was a hike to get up there, but it was totally worth it because there were monkeys just running around. They asked you to stay like 6 feet from them if you could. They were just hanging out, doing their thing. And then you could go into like a little visitor center that had like chicken wire along the windows, and you could feed the monkeys. Now, I do have to say, I realized too late that I was doing this wrong. I wasn't supposed to hand the monkeys the apples. I was supposed to put them down. In my defense, the lady beside me told me, this is how you do it, you hand it to them. And then I looked down, which you can even see the directions in the video that I somehow completely missed, and realized that I was doing it wrong. So if you decide to make the 20-minute hike up Monkey Mountain, please remember that you're not supposed to hand the monkeys the food. You're supposed to just set it down for them and they'll grab it on their own. Lessons learned in Kyoto. The next day, before we caught our bullet train back to Tokyo, we decided to go to Tully's Coffee, which we had been seeing everywhere because they had a Harry Potter treacle tart drink that I absolutely wanted to try. It wasn't my favorite. I don't really know what treacle tart is, but Harry Potter nerd, so I had to try. It was cold. Yeah. So when we got back to Tokyo that evening, we went to get some Wagyu, which we were so excited to try. Wagyu is absolutely delicious. One of the things that I found hilarious is like, I remember as a kid eating scrambled eggs with ketchup, and like I still eat scrambled eggs with ketchup, but like for breakfast, but that was like a side with everything there. So like we, and don't get me wrong, it was amazing, but we went to this restaurant, this like nicer restaurant, and ordered Wagyu with a side of scrambled eggs and ketchup. It was just so funny, but it was really, really good. And then that evening we went to a head spa. So at a head spa, they wash your hair, treat your scalp, massage it. Just an incredible experience. I am a sucker for a good scalp massage, so this was just absolutely perfect. Highly recommend if you have any plans to visit Japan, check out a head spa. I wish we had them here. I've been looking, I haven't been able to find any, but hey, if you know of any head spas in the United States, let me know. The next day was our last like full day in Japan. We were back in Tokyo, so we just tried to kind of check off some last minute things on our to-do list, and it ended up being like the perfect day. We squeezed in everything that we could, and it was just like, it was really good. So we started with Tokyo Tower. We didn't go the whole way to the top. We went to like the second level, I think, which was high enough for me. We then went to get jiggly pancakes. Another kind of thing that we had seen on Instagram, something to try. Not my favorite. They were more on the savory side. I liked the jiggly pancakes with the milk tea syrup on them. I thought that was a good like savor, almost like savory and a little bit sweet. But we ended up waiting a really long time for those, so we squeezed in a couple other things as we went. Then we went to a Shiba Inu Cafe. Oh my gosh. So we just got to sit and chill with these dogs for like 30 minutes. They were so cute. One of them was just like curled up in this bed, sleeping the whole time. The others were just kind of running around. It was so much fun. And then we went to TeamLabs Planets Tokyo. So this place definitely made it to the top of my list of things that we got to do in Japan. It was incredible. So it's an art exhibit, but you and the other people around you become part of the art. It's kind of how it was explained. So when you enter, you take off your shoes because you do go through some water, and there are like two kind of areas. So I don't want to like give a whole explanation of like everything we did in TeamLabs, but there's one room where you are walking through these giant bean bags, like the whole floor is bean bags, so you're like falling everywhere. I was convinced at one point that I would not get up again. And then you walk up this like ramp with water flowing down, and then you get into a room where it's about knee level water, and there's a light show on the water of like these koi swimming around, and if they bump into you, then they turn into flowers. So that was really cool. So I'm so glad that we got to experience that. And our last day, we went to a Michelin 2-star restaurant, I think, for tempura. It was really interesting to see. It was a team of like 2 chefs working together. They were very efficient in what they were doing. I tried eel for the first time. Like I said, I'm not really big on sushi, so like I just don't, and I'm not like a huge fish eater also. But if it's fried, I'll definitely give it a go. Vending machines were everywhere, which I totally get now because it's so hot all the time. They had this shiny apple juice and we're obsessed. I looked for it here. I am not able to find it, which makes me really sad because it was next level. So I definitely missed that. But yeah, that was our trip in a nutshell. The flight's long, ticket prices aren't great, but highly recommend visiting if you haven't. If you have visited, I would love to hear different things that you got to see and do, so I can make a list for next time. And if you haven't gone and are planning to, and you need any sort of tips or advice, I've got them for you. But that is it for this video. Thank you for recapping this amazing trip with me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.